With all the economic difficulties impacting Israel since the war began on October 7th, poverty in Israel is on the rise. The Israeli NGO Meir Panim is working feverishly to break the poverty cycle, as some 21% of the nation's families struggle for food and basic necessities. Joining us today on ILTV is Mimi Rosemarin from Meir Panim. Mimi, thank you so much for joining us today. Can I start by asking you, how bad is the poverty situation in Israel? You know, more than 11 months into this war, how has the war impacted those now in need?
What we see with this war is a ripple effect of the economic hardships. So those of our patrons that already were having a hard time in Israel are having a harder time now. And with the war, we've seen an extra 500,000 people in this country facing financial hardship due to their professional work. So what we have been seeing is an increase in need of people coming to us for help every day.
Now, there are many heartbreaking stories of people who have been forced out of their homes due to the war. They've lost businesses. Some have lost loved ones, of course, in this conflict. People who would not normally be in poverty. I imagine they'll need help returning to their homes and rebuilding their lives, right?
One thing that is incredible about our Meir Panim centers is that they really serve as community centers for the communities in which they sit. And we're seeing displaced families and people that are most affected by the war come in and be welcomed with open arms and get the confidence to continue with their lives and feel whole again while they're with us. And hopefully we can, please God, very soon, relaunch them back to their homes and their routine.
Now, how is Meir Panim helping these people, these families in need?
So we do a few things. We help people first and foremost. We're most well known for our food and our restaurant-style soup kitchens, which provide a hot meal and a warm welcome to anyone who comes in. Through the war, we've really taken on an expanded mission, and we're providing help getting people furniture and home goods and registering their kids from school, especially those that are displaced from their home, and people that are facing poverty, as you said, for the first time due to the economic effects of the war. So we start generally as a place where people go to get a hot meal, but we end up taking care of people's whole bodies and souls.
Now, how can our viewers support the work of Meir Panim? I know you guys are an NGO, a private organization. How can our viewers support your work?
There's a few ways. I think it's really impactful to share that we exist and that we're completely publicly funded. We don't get any money from the government. Yet for the past 11 months, we've been able to continue in our expanded mission, taking care of IDF troops, displaced families, people newly in poverty, and we've been able to do that because of financial support. And the more donations we receive from the community, the more we can do and the more people we can help. But anyone that shares our story and shares our mission and checks into our website and learns about what we do can be inspired to be a part of our work in any way that they're able.
And actually, I did want to note that on our screen now, you actually can support the work of Meir Panim with the QR code that's on the screen. But I wanted to ask you in closing, are there any specific stories that have been particularly impactful over the last 11 months highlighting the work of Meir Panim?
I think there is definitely one or two that speak out to me specifically. I met a mom at one of our centers in Or Akiva who had been displaced from her home in Kiryat Shmona. Her name's Maya. And she had been from Kiryat Shmona sent to a refugee hotel in Eilat for months and months with her 2 teens. And I have 3 young kids at home, and I cannot imagine being in a joint hotel room with them. And so her story in particular struck me because we were able to get her out of the refugee hotel with her 2 teens into an apartment in the Or Akiva area where we could get her set up and get her kids registered for school. And as the months go on and it feels like less temporary and more, unfortunately, permanent, that we were able to get that one family into a new normal while they wait to go home feels so impactful.
Absolutely. Such important work that you guys are doing at Meir Panim. Again, you can learn more about them and support them at the QR code on the screen. I want to thank you so much for joining us, Mimi. Thank you for all the work you guys are doing.